Okay, so the first few chapters of the third canto are about Vidura. So I'm going to read from the new book I just published, Varaha, Vidura, and Kapila, Srimad Bhagavatam's third canto. So this is the section called Evicted. Vidura's elder brother, King Dhritarashtra, was blind, in a way not limited to his physical eyes. He was morally blind, unable to see the immorality of favoring his crooked children at the dire expense of his virtuous nephews. He would often call his younger brother, Vidura, into the palace and ask him for all sorts of advice. On one occasion, though, the king could not tolerate his pure advice. Yudhishthira makes no enemies, Vidura told the king. He and his brothers have been so patient with your awful crimes. Even Wolfbelly, whose angry breathing hisses like a vengeful snake and strikes fear into your heart. Now, return their inheritance. Krishna is on their side, and he is the lotus-faced liberator, the all-attractive divine person, the lord of the great Yadu dynasty, the favorite of the gods and the saints, and the conqueror of countless powerful kings. The king's face went sour as his eldest son fidgeted in anger. A wretched enemy of Krishna has infiltrated your home and dwells amongst your family, Vidura said, pointing at the king's eldest son. Yet you consider him your loving son. By nurturing this opponent of Krishna, you have ruined everything beautiful you ever had. Throw out this inauspicious wretch, the sooner the better, for the sake of your family. The prince, Duryodhana, became enraged, as did his younger brothers, his uncle, and his friend Karna. Their lips trembled in disdain as Duryodhana spat insults upon honorable Vidura. Who invited him into our court? Duryodhana raged. He is nothing but an illegitimate son of a slave, and we generously nurtured him as if he was one of our own. Now he turns on us, revealing himself as a traitorous enemy. Banish him from the city. Leave him with nothing but his breath. These words shot through Vidura's ears and pierced his heart like painful arrows. He set his bow at the door in a gesture of neutrality and left. But he was not sad, for this complex situation provided an ideal opportunity to leave his brother's awful palace. So then the rest of the chapter talks about how he went on pilgrimage. You know, when he left, he just left behind all his clothes and all his jewelry and all his weapons and everything, and he just put on simple rags and walked out into the woods. And he walked along the Saraswati River, visiting all the... Well, eventually he walked along the Saraswati River, visiting all the holy places. He just went from place to place. And an interesting thing in the text is that it speaks of him as in a dual way, like not in a singular way. As it speaks of him as always having a companion, because and it even explicitly says that he never felt that he was alone as he was wandering around, because he was carrying Hari in his heart and visiting Hari in all these temples and all these holy places. You know, so eventually he and another interesting thing too is even when he could have gone back home, because he heard that the war was over, and that Duryodhana had been destroyed, and that Yudhishthira had been given back the kingdom. So he could have went back home, but he decided that he didn't feel like going back home yet. He was enjoying his pilgrimage. He was enjoying his eviction. He was enjoying his exile. He wanted to continue in discovering Hari. So he continued along, and he wound up in Vrindavan, where he met Uddhav. And that's going to be the next chapter. We'll do that in another video. Hare Krishna.